Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of things to talk about. Incomings, outgoings. We've made a signing, which is, we got a here we go. So it's going to be good to talk about all of this stuff.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the Chelsea transfer news, all the things that's been buzzing over the last 24 hours. First up, ladies and gentlemen, Cesare Casadei to Chelsea. Here we go. We've got a here we go. No songs today because I have no idea who this player is, but there's a lot of hype about him. Inter will receive 15 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. Documents ready and now set to be signed. There's no buyback clause, which is fantastic. 6-year deal, medical in 48 hours. Boehly wanted Casadei as part of the top talent strategy after Carney and Hutchinson. I mean, look, there is no doubt about the fact that we're building up for the future. Gabriel Slalina, Omari Hutchinson, Carney Chukwuemeka. Now, this particular player, Cesare Casadei, there's talks about Hendricks, the Brazilian. I mean, I like it. I don't know too much about this particular player, but people are very, very hyped up about him. There's talks from Inter Milan that he's meant to be the latest sensation. So look, I understand what Chelsea's doing, and it's a hefty money to pay as well. 15 million plus 5 million in add-ons. That's 20 million. What's that? Approximately about 15 million pounds, something like that. I suppose it's in the same region as some of the players that we've bought, young players that we've bought in this particular window. So look, I'm all off for Todd Boehly and Thomas Tuchel trying to ensure in the future that we have a good production of players coming through. And if we can get them for cheap now, saves us the money later on. Casadei has a trait that reminds me of Frank Lampard in that he has an ability to time his runs perfectly into the box from deep, and he's very clinical in front of goal. This is coming from Nima Tavele Rodsari, football journalist, founder. So it must be some sort of an Italian specialist, maybe some Inter Milan specialist as well. This is from their YouTube channel. And PYS goes on to say, I've watched a few match comps of him. From what I can see, he reminds me of a young Milinkovic-Savic. He's 6'1", uses his body well to protect the ball and loves scoring goals, but isn't the fastest of midfielder. Intrigued to see how he develops. Crazy price though. Yeah, man, crazy price indeed, but it doesn't I suppose go away from the fact what we're trying to do, which is secure the future. Guys, you let me know if you know much about Casadei. I would love to hear from you guys. All right, next news. Anthony Gordon is seen as a player who would add unpredictability and creativity from wide positions. It's understood the move is driven by the desire to try and sign some of the best English talent in the country. Once again, another young player as well. Although Gordon is Premier League, not proven Premier League experience, at least he's got 1 year under his belt, and it was a good 1 year as well, if I'm being honest. He's one of the most important players for Everton. That's what I've said in my recent videos. Chelsea made a formal 45 million bid on Monday, which has been rejected. So 40 million got rejected, 45 million got rejected. It's getting to the point where this price tag is a bit ridiculous for this player. I like this player. I like the profile. I can understand what's Chelsea trying to do here. But 45 million, and now we're thinking about possibly going to 50 million. It's starting to be a bit insane for me. It remains to be seen whether Chelsea go back with another bid. This is from Matt Law. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if Chelsea end up paying 50 million for this particular player, what does it say about this particular, transfer market and the price tag that's being thrown around? Anthony Gordon is not worth that much money. He wasn't even worth 40 million. Definitely not worth 45 million. And we are planning to go in for 50 million. Apparently, that's the latest. As I keep saying, very good player, very talented player, lots of potential. He's not the finished article yet. Some of the things over here, unpredictability, yes, there is going to be unpredictability because he takes his man on. There's a lot of pace. Creativity, I don't know whether he's creative. Now, if you say that, being able to cross in a ball, that makes you creative, well, then almost everyone is creative out there, aren't they? In terms of his passing ability and his vision, that's not at a supreme level to the sense where you can call him creative. Yes, it's something that can improve, and it's something that definitely needs to improve if once you come to Chelsea Football Club. But I wouldn't call him creative player as of now. But yeah, some of the best English talent. There's no doubt he's one of the best English talents. And yeah, the bid of 45 million is rejected, and apparently we may go back. We'll see. As I said, as a right wing back, that's probably where he's looking to play. Fofana has told Leicester he wants to leave the club. There's a lot of talk going around Fofana. Chelsea have rejected West Ham's 30 million offer for Emerson. They want 15 million to sell. So we'll talk about all of this, the Emerson situation very soon. But let's have a chat about the Fofana scenario. This is what's going on. Chelsea are aware it could take at least 85 million to convince Leicester to sell Wesley Fofana, but sources have indicated Chelsea will eventually meet Leicester's asking price. That's, for me, that is insane. There was a tweet that was out by Absolute Chelsea, extract from Nizar, saying that Wesley Fofana is worried off the back of that match he played against Arsenal and being ripped apart by Gabriel Martinelli. And Nizar saying that he's worried that Chelsea might pull the deal. I'm thinking, are you mad? Are you mad? Like, some of the things that Nizar has been saying has been quite strange this transfer window. What about all the good performances that Wesley Fofana has had? Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, he got absolutely ripped apart by Gabriel Martinelli, but that doesn't take the fact that he's a very, very good defender. Now, is he worth 80 million, 85 million? Our last bid of 70 million was rejected. I don't think so. To be honest, I think he's about 55 to 60 million. Yes, good potential. Yes, a strong defender. Will only become better. But that level of price, oh my days, 85 million. Like, you can get yourself a solid attacking player with that level of money, man. Honestly, we are talking about now. We were already in insane levels of money, but now we are talking about ridiculous amount of money. And I don't know if that level of money is truly worth it. I think we're still going to do it. We need CBs. I think Wesley Fofana is someone who's going to be playing as a CCB, much in the sense rotating with Thiago Silva in the middle. There will be time where he could possibly play as an RCB as well, no doubt about that. That's when we may see Reece James play as a wing back, but I think there will be quite a few matches where Reece James plays as an RCB, and you may see Wesley Fofana in the middle. So we'll see. There is a need, obviously, because players, defenders like Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, they're not going to be around forever. So we do need to ensure we're not in this mess in the future. West Ham are expected to push through with a move for Emerson today, despite Chelsea requesting more than 13 million. Look, I hope Chelsea doesn't screw this up. I hope we're able to let go of Emerson, because there is simply no room for him in this particular squad. 13 million? Look, if we can squeeze 15, fine. That's probably about fair price for Emerson. But let's not lose the deal over 2 million, on the basis that this player has no spot in the squad, and we can get rid of him, free up a little bit of the wages as well. And also, it's just as important to let go of the players, because you don't want to harbor too many players that don't have a role in Chelsea Football Club and could potentially become a bit of a bad smell. This is why I'm so happy players like Lukaku, Timo Werner, and hopefully more will leave, because this is important. Players leaving that don't have a role could potentially become a bit of a negative situation. So we need to figure out a way to get rid of Emerson as well. Wesley Fofana is really pushing to join Chelsea. There's a chance Chalobah could go on loan. Oh, man, I don't know how I feel about that. We'll get to that. Chelsea are tracking Villarreal winger Yeremy Pino, but for now they're on Anthony Gordon. This is from Fabrizio Romano. I've got no idea who Yeremy Pino is, so I can't really give you an opinion. You guys let me know if he's actually a good player or not. Makes me think it's going to be one of those right wing back sort of players who's going to play wide right, potentially a midfield role, as much like what Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been doing. This is why obviously we're in for Anthony Gordon as well, wide player. Chelsea will be pretty busy this week. New round of talks scheduled directly with Aubameyang to discuss potential contract. We'll talk about Aubameyang as well, and we have to be busy. We need players in. It can't just be what we have right now up front. We definitely need players in, and it's only going to be beneficial for Thomas Tuchel. In regards to Wesley Fofana, he's really pushing to join Chelsea. I mean, he may be forced to put in a transfer request. That's probably what he needs to do now. If he's really, really keen and he wants to join Chelsea Football Club, he needs to push from his end. Seems like we're doing everything that's possible. I think personal terms are agreed as well with Wesley Fofana, and right now, this is if he really wants it, he needs to put in a transfer request. Now, in regards to Chalobah potentially going on a loan, I don't know how I feel about that, man. I still believe in Chalobah, and it seems like he's gone down the pecking order massively. And yes, he makes mistakes every now and then. Yes, he can be erratic at times, but I don't want to lose hope on him. I feel like it was such a great story last season, someone who's out of the blue cracked it into the Chelsea team, and he's done well initially. Even later on last season when he came back from the injury, there were some shady moments, but overall he was okay. I didn't think he had a bad season, but now potentially going out alone, for me, it's like Chelsea's, that's it. Your fate is sealed. Like we've given up on you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you feel about it. Like I feel like we're jumping the gun on this one. I know bringing in Wesley Fofana, that's going to create a bit of a situation for him because he could potentially play in the middle or in the RCB position. But you've got Aspie, you've got Reece James, you've got Wesley Fofana, you still have Thiago Silva. Where's the spot for Chalobah? It's true. But man, this is why I wasn't fully convinced with the Wesley Fofana thing, because that level of money is mad for me. I love the defender. I still think, we need to secure players for the future. But to have Chalobah gone, that's kind of kicking the stomach a little bit for me. But you let me know how you feel about that. Callum Hudson-Odoi is keen to go out on loan, and Hakim Ziyech wants to leave. Chelsea will also still listen to offers for Christian Pulisic. There's talks that Callum Hudson-Odoi, Newcastle, Borussia Dortmund, Hakim Ziyech to Man United, Erik ten Hag apparently pushing for that. Look, at this point, I just want all of these players to go. But even if it's Premier League rivals, just go, man. I won't even consider Man United a rival. Seriously, if Hakim Ziyech, if he's okay to go to Man United, and if Erik ten Hag wants him, let's do it, man. Let him shine. Let all of these players shine elsewhere if need be. If you're not enjoying a Chelsea Football Club, which it is clear, crystal clear that you're not, and at the same time the manager really doesn't seem to have faith in you as well, because Callum Hudson-Odoi hasn't featured for the first two Premier League games. And once again, he's just wasting time. He needs to move on. Hakim Ziyech as well hasn't featured in the first two Premier League games. He needs to move on. He's at an age where he's in his prime. There's no time to mess about. So move and move on. Christian Pulisic as well. He's made some appearances off the bench, but once again, it's a World Cup season. Time to move on. And if you get an opportunity at Newcastle, why not? Newcastle owners were there on Sunday watching the match against Spurs when we played them. So there could be something there, and maybe Pulisic could shine over there. A different environment and a lot more game time. Go for it, moment. As well as Conor Gallagher, Newcastle have also asked Chelsea about Christian Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi, there you go, who they suspect could be loaned out this month. Obviously, we can't do loans for all of this in one team. Conor Gallagher is not leaving. He is definitely not leaving. With all the injury crisis that we have at the moment with Kante and Kovacic, and potentially Kante out for a little while, we'll do a separate video on that. There is a Chelsea roundtable coming up, so do look out for that, where we talk about Kante. Kovacic could potentially be out for another couple of weeks as well. Thomas Tuchel saying we want to focus on Kovacic in the medical room, don't want to rush him back. Conor Gallagher will have to play in midfield because I personally don't want to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek move in midfield now. I've been enjoying watching Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a right wing back, and I want to continue seeing them there. So for me, Conor Gallagher will get game time. So Conor Gallagher stays, and the other two, 100%. Time to leave. Chelsea are planning to bid for Barcelona's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang this week. This needs to happen. We need something up front. We need a different solution up front. Happy for Havertz and Broha to be backup options and get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We need goals up front. We're still having the same issues up front. We're missing opportunities. We need a player that is going to be clinical. This is a possibility. Apparently, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he thought he was going to get, in the second year, he was going to get a bit of pay increase. But obviously, Barcelona, with all the financial situation they're in, where they're cutting players' wages, they're in no position to give him the money. So this could be a final payday for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. His relationship with Thomas Tuchel is great as well. Thomas Tuchel wants him. Let's get this done. But there's also talks about Cristiano Ronaldo has materialized. But look, I think Thomas Tuchel wants Aubameyang, fits our style a lot more than Ronaldo. I would still, you know how I feel about Cristiano Ronaldo. I would love Ronaldo. But this is the latest on Ronaldo. Chelsea and Atletico Madrid are still two possible destinations for Cristiano Ronaldo if Manchester United change their stance and let him leave. Apparently, Man United are willing to let him go now. However, there are senior figures at both clubs who are not convinced they should sign Ronaldo. So, look, Thomas Tuchel has made it abundantly clear. He does not want Ronaldo. He feels that he will not provide that tactical flexibility. But for me, one of our biggest issues is scoring, and I feel like it's such a cop-out that Ronaldo can't tactically do what Thomas Tuchel wants a player to do. I think given the right team, given the right instructions, he can follow that. I mean, this guy, age is a number for him, and look how fit he is. Like, I find it baffling that he's incapable of doing these things, and I know stats will show that he hasn't done that for Man United. It's because Man United are a diabolical team. Have a look at some of the comps as well. There's so many comps out there, they'll show you he's the only one who's pressing and everyone else is just standing around. It's a massive cop-out for me that Ronaldo is not tactically apt. This guy's won trophies everywhere. He's been managed by some of the superstar managers out there. You're telling me that this guy can't follow instructions. It's just, no, for me, it's ridiculous. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Neto could become deadline day target for a number of Premier League clubs. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United amongst clubs informed about his potential availability. Look, Pedro Neto, wow, I would love a player like Pedro Neto massively. Once again, gives me that sort of wing-back vibe, much like the Gordon, that same sort of profile. But Pedro Neto, I think, someone who can play up front as well. Someone as an inside 10 or even out wide as a winger. He has the blockbuster pace. He's technically very sound. His dribbling ability is excellent. He's a much better player than Gordon. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of the profile, someone who can take their man on, the pace, the technical ability is far superior, obviously, to Gordon. Pedro Neto would be amazing, but I'm just worried about his injury situation. He's just come back from injury. Can he hang on? Time will tell. Wolves are doing a bit of madness. They've just signed, it's a here we go. They haven't made it official yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be official. Matheus Nunes. So Pedro Neto, they might be cooking over there with all the other really, really good players that Wolves have. Maybe it's good if Pedro Neto sticks around for another season and then assesses his situation at the end of the season. But if there's an opportunity to get him for cheap, why not? I'm all up for Pedro Neto. I still remember what he did against us, and not just us. His dribbling quality is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the latest that's been going around. I'm having a quick look if there's any other news that's been floating around. We will cover the Kante situation, the Reece James Mason Mount contract extension talk, Mendy as well. We'll talk about Thomas Tuchel contract extension as well in another video. Right now, looks like this is what's going on at the moment. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see you.